Hey, it's good to be with you on this special occasion, our Soul Christmas Luncheon, and I hope you're having a good time. Who's having a good time? Hey, why don't we put our hands together for all our volunteers who have just done a magnificent job helping create this special place. Well done, guys. Hey, and special hats off to our supporters and sponsors that help make that happen. Our hope is that you being here at Soul Cafe, particularly on our Christmas lunch, we're celebrating Christmas, you feel at home. That's our great hope, that we've been able to create a place and a space that everyone feels at home, everyone feels welcome, and there's a sense of family in this place. It's interesting, we celebrate Christmas, and it's very difficult to escape this person called Jesus from Christmas. He was a bit of a radical, actually. The writings about Jesus was totally radical. He offended many people. He totally offended the religious people of the day. He hung out with people that some would call undesirable and alienated from society. And you know, my hunch is that if Jesus was here today, he'd be right here sitting with us here in this place. And our hope has always been that we can create a portion of heaven here on earth. It's interesting, this Jesus, when he was followed and his followers asked him this question, hey mate, teach us to pray. Well, that would be my lingo. Hey mate, come on, teach us to how to pray. And he started out with these two words, our Father. And some of you would know the prayer, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven. Some of us know that, it's the Lord's Prayer. But he starts out with these two words, our Father. Now, it's interesting, he didn't start with my Father. He was very inclusive from the word go, and he was leaning into this fact that I want you, as followers of me, I want you to understand that this God that we're into, it's about relationship and it's about family. Now, I know for some of us here, sitting here today, when I mention the word Father, there's all sorts of horrendous and negative thoughts that come up, and that's greatly saddening. But the reality is, any of our earthly experiences of fathers is a really poor reflection of God and our Father in heaven. As a father, and many of you as parents would know that deep pull for your love for your children. And I remember once watching my son play soccer on the ground, and he was taken down. And here I am, a nice pastor on the sideline with my wife having a cup of tea, and anyway, this bloke took my son out. Well, then he started laying into him. I thought, you rotten bludger. And so I just discarded that cup of tea and I just went running. I dead set, I nearly pulled a hamstring and I ruptured an Achilles on the takeoff. And such was my response as a father to go and protect my child, my son, my eldest Josh. And I reckon that's just a glimpse of the willingness of our Father in heaven to lean into our world. And he's for us. This whole notion that God's up on heaven, with a few people playing harps, sitting on a cloud, judging people. It's not like that. In fact, Jesus says, no, I want you to relate to God as our Father. And so family, and the whole thought and the prayer of your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, I reckon that's about family. I reckon it's about this experience of family where everyone's included and everyone's accepted, and there's a place and a seat at the table that's been prepared for you, as there is here today. In fact, Jesus once said, you didn't choose me, but I chose you. And I've adopted you to come in this family. So what's even better, this is not even about a family that you were born into and maybe some of the dysfunction that came with that, but this is about being adopted into a heavenly family where there's nothing but great things that can come into your world in the midst of the tragic and the trauma that comes with life. And there's no doubt as you journey through life, many of us carry that. My hope is that here today and as you move into Christmas Day, although that for some of you might be a vivid reminder of some of the great disappointments and regrets and traumas and griefs that you may carry into that you might contemplate this person called Jesus that Christmas revolves around. And in that you might contemplate that in the prayer that he modelled, it's about family. And as I said before, here at Soul, our deep hope is that we've created a place, a table that you can sit at, that everyone's welcome to. There's plenty of food there, as there is today. But you're valued for who you are, not what you've done. You're not judged from where you've come from. You're not judged by what you look like, but you're accepted for who you are right here and now. I reckon that's what Jesus is talking about. I reckon the person of Jesus that we celebrate Christmas in and with, I reckon that's what he's about. And I think we do an okay job at Soul, and we do a brilliant job with all our volunteers. We do what we can with what we have. But as a pastor of a church here as well, Life Church, I'm really conscious that we've represented a really good God in a really shit way, actually. Really bad. And some of you in this room may have experienced some tremendous grievances because of the church. And, as a pastor, that grieves me greatly, and I apologise if that's been your experience. But it should never take away from the fact that Jesus' intention, his whole reason for being, the scripture says, for God so loved the world that he sent his one and only Son. That's what Christmas is. It's the sending, it's the receiving of the Son, the man, Jesus. And my hope is that as you contemplate Christmas, that you might capture a perspective of this Jesus that perhaps you haven't had. Knowing that he represents a good God up in heaven who loves you and cares for you, wants the best for you. That's why Jesus came, that we might connect with family here on earth as it is in heaven. My thoughts and my prayers are with you this Christmas, whatever that looks like for you. I pray that this Christmas you would know his peace and his presence. And as you move into 2020, that things would begin to shift and move in a brighter way as you consider and perhaps open your life up to the things of God. God bless you.